Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and my guest today makes the best beef jerky in all of Southern California, in my humble opinion. My guest is Jeff Gaskin, and we connected through the Nextdoor app because he is one of my neighbors and he was selling beef jerky on there. And I'm a big beef jerky fan, but I don't always think to enjoy it except for when I'm on a road trip. And I was really excited to see that I could get some fresh beef jerky, and it's been amazing. So I was really excited and honored when he offered to come on the show after I was able to try out the jerky for myself. I want to share a little bit more about Jeff and then share his beef jerky story with you and how you can be a part of his beef jerky business as it grows. So Jeff moved to Los Angeles a few years ago from Vail, Colorado, where he was a local news anchor and reporter, as well as the coach of the high school hockey team in town. He played sports his whole life and remains active, but found as he approached his late 30s that his metabolism was nowhere near where it used to be. So the snacks that he used to enjoy have changed, and he started to try to eat healthier and began snacking on the protein-rich, low-fat, and low-sugar beef jerky a lot instead of buying chips and candy. Sadly, though, he started to notice that there were a lot of preservatives and nitrates in a lot of the brands that he purchased from stores, and he also spent quite a bit of money on it. In Christmas of 2016, Jeff's girlfriend bought him a food dehydrator, and he became obsessed with figuring out how to make the best tasting but also healthiest beef jerky possible and see if he could save some money in the process. The rest, as you'll see from our story today, our conversation today, is kind of history. It's been a fun and tasty couple of years as Jeff has gone to test and refine his flavors and methods. But he now makes 8 of the best varieties of beef jerky you've ever tasted. He even makes a naked variety of jerky for your furry friends. And if you do order some jerky from Jeff, you will get to meet his trusty, adorable husky sidekick, Moose, who loves going for rides and making deliveries with him. But don't worry, he knows better than to try to steal your jerky when you have it out. So Jeff, I'm really excited to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here too.
So sadly, if I had more advanced technology, we could be sitting next to each other and actually enjoying some beef jerky. But
well, I'll tell you what, this technology didn't exist a few years ago. So as someone who's very slow with technology, I feel like this is pretty futuristic.
No, I can relate. A lot of what I do in my business is fitness sessions over two-way video chat, and I never thought that would even work. So it's funny how things progress, right?
How does that work out for you relative to in person? Is it pretty similar?
Yeah, like I said, I never would have pursued it strongly. Just kind of like I tried it out one day after a free challenge to let people have a free class over Google Hangouts, actually. And it actually worked, and people were able to. What really inspired me was I had a mom that joined us for the class, and her son was able to work out with us instead of, being like in the daycare at the gym. So that was kind of cool. I thought just that, it could be something more part of the family. So very similar. Like I still am like, okay, you need to do a push-up. Here's how to do 1. Now you do 10. And I'll just watch your form.
I guess the difference is too that they can mute you and turn you off. Like
right. It's a lot easier to shut the screen, or there's a faulty connection. I'm like, I don't know. Are you sure there's a faulty connection?
But I think that's really cool because if someone's really serious about fitness, and they're traveling, whatever, you can always be there with them and you can always be on them to make sure they're working out. That's cool.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And then just people that are not comfortable going to the gym or have a variable schedule can help them out as well. So
that's a good point. As long as they dress properly, so you don't have to look at them in their bathrobe.
Right, exactly. So awesome. So we got connected because you were selling some beef jerky, and I'm a big beef jerky fan. I usually only think to buy it when I'm on a road trip, but now that I have you nearby and it's so good, now I know I'm going to be having it more often. So could you share with us how you got into that and what's going on there?
jerky journey, I can share that with you.
Yeah.
So basically, I grew up, I was a very big athlete, played tons of sports, especially ice hockey. I grew up in the Midwest and everything. And then
Okay.
I was in Colorado after college and snowboarding, skiing a lot, and also coaching high school hockey, still exercising a lot. And I was eating beef jerky just because it was delicious. And then I started reading the ingredients and seeing there's oftentimes like nitrates and a lot of preservatives that weren't very good.
Sure.
And I was buying so much of it too that I'm like, I'm spending a lot of money on something that might not be that healthy, but I really like it. And so I was interested in figuring out how to make it. My girlfriend actually bought me a beef jerky like dehydrator.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, this will probably save money after like 2 uses. And I started just tinkering around, and it took a while to figure out like the right recipes and everything.
Sure.
If you make it yourself, you can control all the ingredients, skip all the nitrates and preservatives, and make the exact flavors you want. And I'm not reaching for chips, and I'm not reaching for junk food anymore. I'm going with beef jerky. And it is a much better snack because it's mostly protein and gives you a little more energy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well, I mean, I want to ask, how long would it last? Your beef jerky last without the preservatives? For us, it didn't last more than like a day because we ate it all. But
like people ask me that, I'm like, well, if you actually have it in hand, it's not going to last long. But some of the flavors are different because some of them, like I chop up like raw garlic and everything, and that will cause it to go bad. But like in the refrigerator, it's totally fine after 2 weeks. I just, as a test, put some in and checked it a month later, and it all still smelled delicious and looked great. I didn't eat it because it's not worth the risk, but I just wanted to see. But I always tell, if you refrigerate it, it'll be perfect after 2 weeks.
Okay. So if we can make it last that long,
Yeah. I was going to Brazil for 3 weeks, and so I was like, well, let me see how it freezes, and I put some in the freezer, and when I got home, it was like after a second of being in room temperature, it was perfect again. So you can freeze it.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that with, having protein being frozen. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you tried it, I don't know if you like it or not. You don't have to pander to me, but personally, I think it's a healthy and delicious snack. So I like having it around.
Yeah, no. I mean, I never really. I've had like some roadside, like beef jerky traveling that seemed fresher than what I'd buy in the, like 7-Eleven or whatever. Hi friends, it's Catherine, and if you are joining us for that out and back 15-minute walk that I recommend you do while tuning into the show, that sound is your halfway point reminder. You'll want to turn around now. All right, back to our conversation. But yours seemed fresher than that to me. I mean, it probably was made like a few hours before I picked it up, and that's why it went so quickly. Was that it was like just so fresh and really really good. And I mean, I liked all the flavors. Like it's garlic. It's not just garlic in that flavor, though. I'm trying to think.
Garlic pepper. I can't remember which flavors you got, but garlic pepper is the most popular one I sell. But like I said, I chop up fresh garlic and just use black pepper and some low sodium soy sauce, and that's pretty much it. And
Okay.
It's all about the drying and smoking technique that really makes it kind of perfect.
Yeah. Well, that one, I mean, you had said that it was dangerously delicious, and that was definitely true because that one just went. But then I do like the classic because just sometimes you just want and stick to the basics. So that one's a good one too.
Well, that one actually, there's a funny story behind that because I have a friend that he got me really into beef jerky in college. He's from Michigan, and his mom used to send it up by the pound.
Oh, wow.
Then he tried to be a distributor for this one little market in Michigan that made it. And we're like, this is the greatest stuff on earth. And they tried to get him to buy the recipe for like $40,000 from them.
Wow.
And he didn't do it. And he ended up not being a distributor. But like when I started making beef jerky, it took me like 3 tries. And I got their exact recipe down. I'm like, did I just say?
Wow.
That's what the classic flavor is because that's kind of the classic beef jerky flavor. But it's very simple to make once you know the ingredients.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like simple, like good flavor, like still has good flavor though. And okay, so it's a special recipe that you uncovered, But
yeah, I love to cook, and so I'm kind of like a nerdy chef like that. Like I love if something's a secret recipe and I like it, I'm like I'm gonna figure it out and make it. Like the Chick-fil-A like fried chicken nuggets. That was like my brother and I's favorite food, and they always said it was a secret recipe, but I figured out how to make it. So like when I make it, it's exactly like Chick-fil-A. So I always make it for parties and stuff. People are obsessed with it.
See, I don't have that skill of like, I'll taste something like what? I'm like, there's some taste here that I like, but I don't even know what spice it is, or I'm the worst.
I got that from my dad. He's a great chef, and I would just tinker around in the kitchen with both my parents when they would cook, but he would always just show me how to like just taste something and pick out every ingredient. I don't know. I guess maybe it
That's
was
cool.
fake, but yeah.
See, it's a good skill
Yeah.
skill to have that I wish I could have.
Yeah, of course. But also, I've kind of noticed, like I was going to say earlier, I've gone from being a very busy athlete. I still do a lot of sports and try to work out a lot, but my
Mhm.
metabolism is definitely slowed down. And
Mm,
that's a big reason why I wanted to get into like healthier snacking. I'm still as hungry as I've always been, but
right?
like eat everything. When I was younger and in great shape, I would just eat a bowl of rice covered in soy sauce and have a 44-ounce Slurpee. And like I was the healthiest looking person in the world. And now like I'm down for a week if I try to eat that.
No, that's too funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, beef jerky is a good option in my opinion. And that's a big reason why I started making it. And then I was giving it to friends and they were all telling me I should sell it. So that's why I'm starting to develop into a business.
Yeah. So how's that going? And if people are listening, because I know we're local, so I'm like we're neighbors, so I can get it whenever I want. But for people listening, if they're not, what's the
In the lucky blast zone where you can get it firsthand, because I'm starting out just using that next door app. I think that's how it found me, just seeing in the neighborhood what people thought and everything. Because I'm now in the process of getting a website, and then I have to go through a process of when you're selling meat products, you have to get special certification and everything. So
right?
now I'm doing it, a little under the table around the neighborhood just to get people's opinion on everything. But the response has been great. And most of the people that order it, they reorder it by like the multi-pound. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of great. I love hearing from people how much they like it. And so it's motivating to keep going. And I'm going to try to do everything and get the official business going soon.
Very cool. We'll have to get you out at the farmers market and stuff too.
Yeah, I've been talking to the farmers markets and figuring everything out like that too. Because some of them already have a beef jerky person and I don't want to step on toes. But there's
Okay.
at the Hermosa Pier one that's on Wednesdays. It's right by where I live. That's they don't have a jerky guy there, so
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've seen a jerky guy. Yeah, we need to get you out there.
killer spot. It's not as busy as some farmers markets because it's a little more
Right.
local, except maybe in the summertime. But it's the best location. You can't beat it. Right on the Hermosa Pier area.
Yeah. I've had a booth out there a few times for my business, and it's just it's a good get to meet the community at least. So it's a fun time.
It'd be good for you because most people going by are working out and everything. Because that's where I rollerblade with my brown husky moose, and that's where we go like 4 times a week. So
Not a bad spot. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Very
great to be
cool.
out there.
Very cool. So what are your flavors you have for the beef jerky so far?
Oh, well, I keep adding ones, and people are suggesting, like someone, I don't know why I didn't think of it, but someone's like, you should make salmon jerky. And
Huh.
I was thinking it'd be really tough to do, but it was pretty easy to do. It's just more expensive. But
Oh yeah.
But I am now doing salmon, chicken, and beef jerky. And then the flavors I've got are like the classic, which if you have had what's considered like the homemade beef jerky, it's just kind of salty, peppery, smoky, garlicky,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that. Then I do a garlic pepper one, a teriyaki, then a spicy teriyaki, a honey mustard, and a spicy honey mustard. And I just started doing orange ginger because I had
Okay.
orange ginger chicken dish at Mao's Kitchen, which is a really good Chinese restaurant in Venice Beach. And I was like, I got to try an orange ginger kind of style.
Yeah.
And once you figure out how to make it, it becomes really easy.
So what's the process of like trying out? You said you figured out you cracked the code on that one classic recipe. But how long does it take to kind of figure out what's going to work?
I've got a pretty good eye because I didn't never write down recipes. I always just go by, eyeing everything.
Oh wow, yeah.
Usually the first time I try, I get close, but I'm like, there's 1 or 2 things missing, and I know exactly what that is, so I can get it the third time. And then
Okay.
I've got 2 dogs, and I live with my girlfriend and her 13-year-old son, and so I've had lots of willing taste testers. It's easy. Flavors figured out quickly.
Well, I was impressed because when you delivered mine last time, I was impressed because Moose, I petted him and but he didn't try to steal my jerky, so he seems at least well behaved.
Well, because I don't have like the kinds that have pepper or garlic or things like that, but I do just a beef or a chicken or a salmon that's just got the tiniest bit of like pink Himalayan sea salt.
Okay.
And my 2 dogs are obsessed with it, so like he knows there's his chicken jerky bag at home, so he knows not to steal the other stuff.
I would say, do they get excited? Can they tell when you're cooking that what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, they don't. But when I bring it home and I'm bagging it up, they just sit right by the table waiting for theirs. And I make the chicken style. I make like 3 pounds of it at a time, and it lasts about a day and a half around the dogs.
That's too funny. Very cool. Well, no, I'm excited to keep trying these new flavors and let people know about it. And what's the best way for people? So you're on Nextdoor right now. Like, what's the best way
Yeah.
for people to connect with you for, finding out when they can get some if they're not nearby?
Unfortunately, the website up and going yet, but if people want to just email me at jeffgaskin@hotmail.com,
Okay.
we can go from there, and I can answer any questions like that. But fortunately, soon, like in the next 2 weeks, I should have a website up and everything. I'm trying to figure out the name I want for the company too. So
Oh yeah, that's always a fun thing to figure out.
exactly, because every name is kind of out there. Until you search for something on the internet, like everything's been thought of before. So you got to find something new that you can actually get the domain.
Right. Yeah, no, I've definitely been there. Well, for me, it kind of like popped in my head, so maybe that'll happen.
Yeah. But I was kind of thinking this last night with like Halloween and everything, and I was out with my girlfriend and her son, and I was wondering if you deal with this in the health and fitness world. Do a lot of parents ask you like, how do I get my kids off the computer or like these devices?
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
what is the advice you give to parents? Because I coach a lot of kids in sports, and parents ask me that all the time, and I usually used to tell them just don't give them an iPhone or an iPad, but now schools require it and everything.
Right.
Like if you have kind of a go-to thing.
Well, my thing is just I feel like because I don't have kids myself, but I have nieces and I've also coached as well. And what I find is really that kids learn by watching what you do. So it's like if you're being active and you try to encourage them to do something active, they might want to try it out. But if you just tell them and you're not also living by that, it's a little bit tougher. So that's what I always say is just try to maybe it's not the same activity that you do that they'll do, but try to get them kind of excited about something.
Yeah, I think kids are more excited once they've already done it instead of getting them excited too. I don't know. I just feel like every generation is like, oh, kids today, but it does seem different than like when we were kids that like it was just kind of standard. Like you go and you play sports and stuff, but now it's like, oh no, if he wants to be on the computer, then that's what he's doing. And I just don't want a generation of kids that are all looking down and like they all have hunchbacks because they're just looking at their phone and walking into traffic.
I know. Oh, I know. That's the crazy. That's the scary part, right? That definitely happens.
I just hope parents out there, they're encouraging their kids to snack healthy and everything. Because that was another thing too. I feel like when I was younger, there wasn't as much emphasis on what you were eating as long as you were eating something.
Right. No, that's true.
Giving their kids like pure sugar juice that wasn't actually fruit juice. But now I think parents are more conscious. And again, that's where like the beef jerky comes in. I think that's a much healthier snack than chips and soda sort of stuff.
Yeah, because we all probably have that salt craving, or I definitely do. But trying to have a healthier one and get some protein in is definitely good. So yeah, and I would say a similar thing with the foods is just like if you're going to be eating candy and like and tell your kids to have an apple, probably not gonna go over so well. But also I think having things easily available, like having the fruit bowl or having the jerky out, something that's easy to grab versus it's not prepared and it's easier to grab something that's just a snack in the, that's a processed food snack.
That's true. I think if you keep a candy bowl, then why wouldn't you go for candy? So
exactly.
I cook dinner for us all the time and I started making the rice with a lot of broccoli and it's delicious. Like if you just chop up broccoli when you're making the rice, it's amazing in there. And I've been amazed at how I've been able to feed him broccoli without it being a problem.
Okay, so we need this recipe. What's the ratio? I know you probably don't have it perfect, but what's the ratio of rice to broccoli?
Well, if you want to do it simply, I always just recommend you saute your rice with a little bit of olive oil first, and don't let it burn, but let it get almost to the point where like it almost gets crispy looking. And then use chicken broth instead of water, and it'll be the best tasting rice. And then what I usually do is that takes about 15-20 minutes to cook, but when there's about 7 minutes to go, just mince up some broccoli, mix it in the rice, and let it keep steaming in there, and it'll be good to go. It makes it 10 times better, and you're getting your full dose of broccoli.
That's one thing I always try to get my clients to do is just get in more whole fruits and vegetables. So I like that, as a nice side where you can still have your rice, but because rice isn't bad. It's just we all need to eat more fruits and vegetables. So.
Yeah. I try to do brown rice instead of white rice too. So like it just added in 20 minutes of letting it simmer or boil because brown rice takes forever to cook sometimes.
That's true. It isn't as fast as white rice, right?
You got to earn it.
I guess, yeah. No, that's too funny. Well, awesome. Well, Jeff, I'm really glad we got to chat and kind of share more about the beef jerky. And I'm excited to see what the name ends up being for the business. So,
Yeah, maybe I was thinking of naming it after my dog Moose because we're always together. So Moose might be in the name, but my girlfriend's son likes to call me Chief Beef when I'm making beef jerky.
oh, that has a good see.
It's kind of a weird name, but like him and his friends always laugh and say it. So there might be Chief Beef.
Okay. Well, maybe Moose could be the mascot, though. Maybe.
Oh, no matter what, he's the mascot. Delivery partner.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Very
cool. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.